From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
Hey, y'all are. Cajun Rob here hanging with you. Mr. John's a little under weather tonight, so it'll be me and my good friend, my occasional travel partner, Mr. Robert ROC Holliday. Hey, how's it going, Rock?
What's up, man? It's doing pretty good.
All right. Heard you snuck out and caught a few today.
Caught a good bit. Just couldn't find a quality bite today.
Yeah, you tweak it. At least you're on the bite, man. You got to tweak it a little bit, but you in the neighborhood sounds like.
Yeah.
Cool deal. Well, for the few folks that don't know you, kind of introduce yourself and kind of tell them who you are and how you got started this crazy tournament game.
So my name's Robert Holliday. Some people know me as Rock. Been fishing BFL since 2016. I fished Toyota Series. I fished the Bass Opens as a co. Ran a few events as a boater in the BFLs. Started fishing when I was 3 with my dad, and we just kept doing some team tournaments, down here in Georgia. And then we moved to Berea. We fished some team tournaments with work and everything, and just moved back, jumped in from BFLs, cut my first check, and it was all she wrote. Took off from there.
Heard that, man. And hard to beat coming from God's country of Berea, right?
Oh, man, I love it. I absolutely miss it. I ain't going to lie. But I ain't going to miss that snow, though.
Yeah, I figured you was going to say that. Yeah, I'd rather be a little south. But anyway, hey, we got our first comment up. Mr. Jeremy May saying, hey, gents. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? Hey, Jeremy got more snow than I got. He's over there shoveling snow and moving snow around. So he can have all that.
Yeah, need to keep it up there.
Oh, I heard that. Well, anyway, got a couple questions, Mr. John. Wanted to get with you. First one, how did you land your first sponsor as a co-angler?
So when I landed my first sponsor, when I first started, majority of them came off Facebook. Yep. I started with fat guppy fishing back 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And then, that kind of fell through. They kind of, I guess, sold it or just got out of it and whatnot. But majority of mine sponsors have came from Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense because there's a lot of sponsors wanting like brand awareness on Facebook and the social medias. Yeah, I've had pretty good luck on that with myself as well. And then a follow-up question, he says, what do you think separates successful co-anglers who get sponsorships from those who don't?
I would say work. Since I have, I think I got like 3 or 4 paid sponsors. I got a couple silents, but if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to fish as much as I do, because that allows me to travel to Gunnersville, Pickwick, even out to Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I'm able to travel those distances, rather me out of pocket and, paycheck after paycheck to travel, and for me to cover it myself. It's a lot easier for co-anglers to get sponsors where, they're not spending, money out of their pocket. It also helps to get the company name out there, advertisement, social media posts, every tournament, shout outs at weigh-in. And, it's a lot of, how do you put it? It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at it kind of a partnership. You're kind of helping them, they're helping you out. Y'all kind of do a partnership. And that seems like that works a bit. Yeah.
Partnerships turn into friendships.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and then you get that relationship with your sponsor, and sometimes the owner, say if you need something, you can pick up the phone and talk directly to the owner or who's ever in charge of And they're the same way, if they have something come up, they want you to go to a certain tackle shop, work like an open house or something. So that's a two-way
Yeah.
streak, and
Or even
you get that.
shows, tackle
Yeah,
shows.
exactly. I think first time I met you in person was at the Bassmaster Classic Knoxville. Was it 19,
Knoxville.
18? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
19, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, somewhere in there. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's a good show, and unfortunately, they're coming up there next year, so I'm looking forward to
Yep.
that. And I know I'll be there, and I'm pretty sure you'll be there. So that's a
I'm
great
pretty
place
sure
to
I'll
have it.
be there.
Yeah, I know they broke the attendance record for the Bassmaster Expos last time they was there, and
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll do it again because
I
it's a
think
really
they'll
good
do. I think
venue.
they'll break it again.
Yeah, and I like how they got the if people that's never been to Knoxville, they have overflow parking in like University of Tennessee Stadium and
Yeah.
some of their lots, and they'll have buses shuttle you. So because downtown parking's a little hairy at times, but at least they got a good plan, and they'll run you on the buses, shuttle
Yeah,
back and
they
forth.
they
So,
always work it out.
oh yeah, and it's top notch. I mean, that last show there was really really good. It was laid out well.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
yep. And another quick question: what's the best way to showcase a sponsor's products from the back of the boat?
Using it for one, and
Yep.
then giving shout outs on stage at weigh-ins, social media posts, you know, and just basically sending pictures to them, even if it's pre-fishing, fun fishing, or
Yep.
just tournament fishing. I mean, always using their products and taking pictures of the products in the fish's mouth, sending it to them, and say, hey, it works, or even tweaking it kind of deal.
Oh, absolutely. And then I know the unboxings too. If you get a supply of products from your sponsor and unbox it, kind of show hey, I got this. You need to check it out. That seems like that does pretty good for them too. Gets a lot of
Yeah.
attention and brand awareness and product awareness. Different products they have, so that always works out good. Another quick question here. How do you recommend co-anglers approach potential sponsors? Emails, networking, or social media, or all the above?
I would say all the above, but I'll use me for an example since all my sponsors are local.
Yeah.
Except a few. Basically, it's some of them that's known me since I was a kid, growing up. And I just, typed out a thing on computer, printed it out, gave them a breakdown of each tournament, total cost at the end of the 5 tournaments or however many tournaments you're fishing.
Yeah.
And I never give a set price. I don't set a gold, platinum, silver package. I'm always grateful for whatever they give.
Yeah.
And I leave it at that.
Yep. And then when you go to the next season, they already know, if you've promoted well and you got their product out there, and usually they'll up it, and
some
so it's kind of
they'll up it,
yeah.
or they'll keep it the same. I mean, it varies. My title sponsors is Chris Peters Electric. He's went up on me even bad seasons. He stuck with me through thick and thin, and I'm grateful for Chris. He's been a lot for me.
Yeah, that's hard to beat, man. Long-term guys that stick with you through thick and thin. That's hard to find these days. So that's a quality guy right there, man. That's definitely a good partner to have, for sure.
And I got three or four paid, but a couple of them are silent that didn't want their name plastered on my jersey, and I totally respected their decision and left it at that. I picked up a few new ones this year. John with Star Lures, Kim and Skeet Reese. I wouldn't even consider them a partnership. That's turned into a friendship, and it's just, I mean, Kim and Skeet are amazing. Their rods are fantastic. John's baits are fantastic. But really, And then my buddy Chad Smith, Lake Country Marine Works. I mean, he does boat works, graph installs, whole boat remodels, graph mounts, and I can get stuff through him with discounts through AFCO, Strike King, Lose. So me and him's kind of partner together where I can get stuff from Lose and Strike King with him, and also help give him business as well, through the BFLs.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I said that's a perfect partnership. You're helping each other out, and that's great, man. That's a good working relationship right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat it. But talking about tournaments this year, you fishing? I know you're fishing some BFLs. Whatever tournament trails you fishing this year?
So I'm running 5 Bulldogs down here, and then I'm running the St. Lawrence Toyota Series in Messina, New York, this August.
Okay, good deal. Have
But
you ever been up to? You ever
What
been
was
up to
that?
New York before? You ever been up to New York before?
I've been to New York City,
Oh, okay.
but I've never been up that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot of fun, man. Chasing smallmouth and man, see some of the bags coming out of those tournaments. It's unreal.
I think it'll be fun. It'll definitely give my sponsorships definitely a lot more area, across the United States, especially me going to New York.
Yep.
Mark with 5x3 Sport, 5x3, Chris Peters, Kim and Skeet and all of them, John, Anthony with AG Backbone Baits, and, CJ's Barbecue, which is a mom and son barbecue place.
Awesome. Man, I'm jealous, man. You got a barbecue place sponsor, man. I'm jealous.
Oh man, tell me the best barbecue in the world.
Oh man.
I mean, it's
Heard that.
some good food. And
Yeah.
I also picked up PDQ Accounting, which is the lady that does my taxes for my LLC business. So
Yep.
she joined me this year. So she's one of my second biggest paid sponsors, and she's along for the 2025 journey this year.
Awesome. I bet she's past busy right now. Probably here to about mid-April. She's probably slammed.
She's busy. I'm waiting to get mine back. So
Yep.
we're in no rush. We told her just take her time and whatnot. And I'm kind of excited to kick off the 2025 season next weekend up here at Lake Lanier where I'm at today.
Absolutely. It looks like you got improving conditions too. I know you're fishing out today. It looks like I know up here it's going to be a lot better. Probably 50s in the 50s next week here.
It was in the low 50s today, but we caught them quick early, and then once that sun went in about 1 o'clock, the bite got tough and kind of died off. And when the sun came back out, we picked 1 or 2 up here and there. But I mean, it was hot and heavy first thing this morning. I mean, I caught them 3 fish limit, practicing for the BFL next weekend, 30 minutes and caught twice by 9 o'clock.
Nice.
So I mean,
Nope.
caught a bunch of keepers, caught some shorts.
Nice, man. Good job, man. Hey, what was the water temps running? Was they still in the 40s or
Anywhere between 47 to 50.
okay?
50,
Well,
I
that's not too
think
bad.
50 was the warmest we saw today.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. It's coming along pretty good. It'll be spawn time before you know it down there.
Hopefully, we got some weather in the mid 60s, almost 70 next week. So, hoping that warm weather will start to push some up, staging early, but still not up shallow. You can still catch them 10 to 15, 10 to 20 foot range next week.
Absolutely. Seems like there's always waves. The first wave, seems like they try to push hard, and the others kind of lay back. But yeah, there should be some in there for you. So you may be catching them 2 or 3 different ways. I mean, it could be 2 or 3 different good bites out there. Sounds like
you can catch them shallow. You can catch them cranking. Of course, scoping is always, and they're killing it out here right now. It took 24 to win out here today on Lanier, and it took 25 like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I mean, they're just straight killing it out here.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, it's funny. Talk about. I think we was at Del Hollow last year, and I was out in the middle with a scoper, and I seen you go down the bank, holler at me with your shorts.
My shorts and boots on.
Your shorts, yeah. I was like, I ain't no doubt. I know who that is.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. But
there'll be times this year I'll be in shorts and boots. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I wore my Huck boots. I got some Huck boots, those ankle boots, a couple Christmas ago. Man, that's been the best boots, best thing I've ever got for Christmas, man. They hold up good. It goes through the snow good, just not quite insulated enough. But wear some wool socks, about right.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I know another thing you're pretty good at. I need some tips on is a co-angler like tackle organization, and how do you kind of organize your stuff and store your stuff? What's some good tips on that? I can always use tips on that.
So this year, I switched from a tackle bag to a backpack,
Okay.
and the backpack is a lot smaller. So basically, I have my crankbait box, which has my crankbaits, top waters, and my floater spoons in it, my drop
Yep.
shot box, and my shaky head box. So those are the only 3 boxes I have in my tackle bag, and then my hook box.
Yep.
So for each tournament, so for, let's say, for Lanier next weekend, I'll keep those 3 boxes in. But then if I go to, when I go to Oconee, they'll stay the same. And then Eufaula, I'll swap boxes to what I think I would need.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of narrow my box, my tackle bag down so it's not so bulky. So
Yeah.
I just switched to a backpack this year just so I can eliminate spending more time in my tackle bag than I am fishing.
Yeah, that's a good idea because sometimes you get on a guy's boat and he already has stuff in that back compartment behind your seat. So sometimes you have to put it at your
Mm-hmm.
feet. And I think that backpack kind of lays down and fits better
It
right in
lays
there.
flat because my buddy's got a ZX 250 Skeeter and it lays flat on the floor, and I can just lay my feet on top of it and it don't take up no room at all.
Gotcha, man. Can't beat that. But do you have now? What if you go to a tournament? Like if you have to go to the lake and you never been there before? What is maybe 2 or 3 of your confidence baits you always take with you?
What time of year?
Let's say
Well,
spring
because
right
you'll
now.
have to narrow it down.
Yeah, pre-spawn right now. Probably this month, late February, early March.
So, shaky head, swim baits, 8 rigs
Oh,
would
absolutely,
be probably my 3 go-to right now this
absolutely,
time of year,
absolutely. Yeah, amen on that
and
A rig. I
occasionally
did.
drop shot.
Yeah, yeah, that A rig is hard to beat. Some reason I went to Norris last year on the volunteer division BFL, and I caught shorts all day. I was flipping and pitching the jig around. I'd catch shorts and never got a keeper. And then my boater went to this marina, and he was fishing a big glide. He had a limit, and he's just trying to upgrade. And he fished this little open spot between the marina and the docks, and he got through it. I said, "Hey, it's okay if I cast." Yeah, yeah, go ahead. And I had an A rig tied on it. Throw it all day, and I said, "I'm gonna throw that A rig." And counted down about 7. It just stopped. I'm like, "Oh man, I got a dock cable," and caught almost a 4-pounder smallmouth on it, and one big bass, and got to a side pot on one fish and one cast.
That's pretty
So
sweet.
sometimes you get lucky. And it's funny because I wasn't sure what trailer to throw on it, and Brad from Backwaters up in Lexington says, "Man, throw that
Mm-hmm.
Kitech, that Easy Shiner, Pro Blue Red." That's what I had on there. So man, I said, "Man, thanks for the advice. It worked." But
Pro
I like
Blue
throwing like
Red, and
yep,
that's about my
the
go-to
white.
color besides light hitch and Tennessee shad.
Absolutely. And another thing I like doing is I'll throw the downsize, like the Shane's baits, the finesse type, or the
Mm-hmm.
Flash Mob Junior. So I'll throw the downsize versions, and I'll throw it on like a spinnerbait rod, like a 7-foot or 7.3 medium heavy.
Yeah, I throw mine
But
on an 8-foot rod, a 20-pound
oh
fluoro.
man, well you're throwing the bigger ones too, so you got the meat stick
I'm
on there.
Yeah, I'm throwing the. I had a buddy of mine, Anthony with AG Backbone Baits. He had a buddy of his that makes them, and he sent me one, and I ended up catching what I thought that loaded up on it was a big spot, and it ended up being a striper this afternoon. And
Oh heck,
yeah, that was a fun fight. And but I mainly throw mine on an 8-foot rod, 20-pound fluoro, and sling the meat stick around.
there you go. Now this season, this year, practicing fun fishing. I'm gonna try to get good at the glide baits. I need to get. I've been looking at it. And I'm gonna try to kind of get a feel of it. There's any technique this year you're kind of wanting to get better at or learn, kind of in the off season, that you'd like to learn more about?
I'm wanting to start throwing the glide bait around here at Lake Lanier, because once it starts summertime, that would be the bait you can go sling around docks, the
Yeah,
floating dock box, docks, and get them either to commit or show themselves, and then you
yeah,
can follow up with a bait. But I don't throw the Nico rig much, and
yep.
it shows because I got smoked today with it. So I'm wanting to try and learn the Nico rig a little bit, because I don't know what the bite feels like.
Yeah.
But
It. I've done pretty good on it. I've actually had good luck on it in Gunnersville. It comes through the grass like you wouldn't believe. I mean, you wouldn't think it does, but it really does. And it's like a Texas rig bite. You'll mostly just feel like weight,
kind
and
of weight
but
pressure
it's
on it.
yeah, weight pressure on it. Yeah, and try to run a little light sinker like we was talking before. Glue your little sinker in there because it will sling out on you if you ain't careful.
We learned that today with the power baits, the
Yep.
Maxense, that they don't. You got to super glue them in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one I've been using a lot, Big Bite's got a Nicorama worm, and it's actually got a little slot for your O-ring, about
Hmm.
1/3 up, and it's got some pretty good, cool colors. But yeah, Big Bite Nicorama worm is a pretty sweet little worm. I've used it and had pretty good success on it. But I think it has a little more. It's similar like the shaky head, but I think it has a little more action. But yeah, it's. I said try it in grass, like even millful. I mean, don't throw it in the mat, but on the
Yeah,
outside, it comes through pretty good. I've had good luck on Toho and Gunnersville on that, so that's an awesome little technique.
yeah,
But
that's one I need to learn, because there's a chance I could be throwing that at St. Lawrence in August.
oh, absolutely, absolutely, and it catches them everywhere. I mean, it's gotten real popular. Um,
Yeah.
and what do you think? Well, going thinking about last year, your last season. What do you think
Hmm.
your most productive lure? What do you think you caught the most fish on last year? You think?
Carolina rig,
Awesome, mo ball and chain. Hey,
old ball
I've
and
got
chain
my
at
head.
Dale Hollow.
Yeah, I had an old guy last year, and he schooled me. He threw that ball and chain all day and schooled me on it. I said, yeah, I got to do
And
that
I
more
got
often.
hurt at Dale Hollow that tournament too.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, you got that fixed, so you're 100%, man. I know you're chewing at the bit to get back on it.
Man, I'm telling you, being out in the boat today, not being in a boat since October, recovering from ACL surgery, that definitely was, today was, it felt great.
Oh yeah.
Knee felt fine, no issues at all. So, the last 4 years having to fish with a brace on and trying to not overdo it on hook sets.
Yeah.
I think this year I'm gonna cross some I's and dot some I's this year. I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna bring the heat this year, man. And I haven't seen you post on Facebook. You doing all the workouts and all, man. You're killing all that, man. You did
They're
everything you're supposed
they're
to.
they're putting me through normally a 40-minute PT sessions and hour and a half to 2 hours. I mean, they're working me at PT, but my muscle's great. I mean, everything's what some people, same surgery, 8 months. That's a college soccer player. She's
Yeah.
8 months out of surgery, same surgery I had, and she's nowhere near, and I'm 4 months out, and they're just worried about, building muscle back up. And I'm telling you, I can feel a change already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then that's gonna help you with your endurance. And then said tough conditions. If you're out there and it's storming and wind's blowing, it's gonna make a world of difference. So I think you're gonna
Oh
make
yeah.
a big step this year, man. I ain't no doubt. But of all the tournaments, what do you think? Maybe one or two you really got circled on your calendar. Said, yeah, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna crush them.
Well, I got them all circled, to be honest with you,
Right.
because
Yep. Yep.
that's the mindset going into every tournament. I changing everything, the format to a 3 fish limit, your mindset is, I got to catch them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're not going to cut a check with 14, especially 3 14-inch fish here at Lanier. You're
Yep.
going to get laughed at. I mean, you walk up with 6, 7 pounds, you're not getting paid. So next weekend, I'm going to have that high 8 to 9 pound range to get a check.
Right.
Maybe 12 to win. But the one I'm really looking forward to is St. Lawrence in August. And then the following weekend is the 2-day super tournament on Lanier.
Nice.
Because
That's
it
awesome.
sets
Back
up
to
the
back.
same time of year as
Yep.
when I finished second and missed my first win by 2 ounces. Same
Ooh,
time of
man.
year, same weekend. So the game plan for that one is if I can get somebody to stop on one bridge for me, I can have probably 12 pounds and 3 flips.
Nice. Yeah, I know. Was it last year before last? I had a Toyota, and the guy I fished with the week before at Chickamauga actually won it, and he was throwing a rig on bridge pilings.
Well, from the first middle of July to September, 1st of October, them fish would sit up on them bridge pylons, and I can go flip a floater spoon
Oh,
and
nice.
just crack them.
Yep. Can't beat that, man.
No, that's my favorite way to fish in the summertime up here at Lanier, besides top water.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, it's hard to beat that topwater, man. I mean, you get a topwater bite, man, nothing even comes close to that. You get something to crush it.
No, you're going to have to come down here in September, 1st of October, and throw top water on the floater spoon and see some 4+, 5+ pound spots just blow up on it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, we got some spots in Cumberland, but nothing like what size you got down there, man. I know that.
We got the main Coosa River spots down here, and
Ooh.
they are feisty.
Oh, I heard that. Man, can't beat that. Well, that's cool. Hey, we got a quick comment here. Our buddy Daniel says, "What's up, Rob? What's up, Rock Steady? I like it." Hey, thanks, Daniel. Hope everything's
Thanks, man.
good down your way. But yeah, I mean, I'm like you, man. I was watching some of the bass footage and the BBT stuff last week or two, and man, they've been killing it in Florida, man. It's like, ooh,
I wish the cold front didn't hit.
yeah.
I think the weights would have been a lot better.
Oh yeah, because those Florida fish, you get a cold front or even a cool front comes through, it just locks them down almost.
It
So
lethargic.
yeah, but Bill Lowen, man, he knows how to fish them tough tournaments. Hats off, he's done it for a long time. And if conditions are rough, you be on the lookout for him. He's coming up.
I think he's going to live or die by that creek he's in for the last 3 days. I think he's going to stick it out in there.
Yeah, well, we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow's last day, and he's in it. So we'll see how that plays out. That's gonna be some interesting footage tomorrow.
Oh, on a side note, I do have one person in the top 10 going out tomorrow for fantasy fishing, FYI.
Yep. And he is the leader on the Co-Angler Corner bass fantasy thing. Somebody forgot to put their team in and fell asleep. Won't mention any names.
Yeah.
I got too comfortable. But then Daniel says it's been cold this week in Texas, and Lake Ivy has been tough. Rob, yeah, I've heard that. I actually had a dealer in I think Lake Fork. And he said it was like mid-teens there, and he said he was driving over to Lake Fork Bridge, and it was like, well, lake effect snow is like on the bridge. Once you got off the bridge, it quit, but just on the lake, it was like sprinkling snow just on the lake, I guess. But I was like, that's insane, man. But I did hear your lakes down in Texas finally got some water. A lot of them's opened back up, so it's kind of a blessing and a curse. But I think you get better weather next week. But fishing's definitely looking up down there. Yeah. You ever had a chance to fish anything in Texas, Rock?
That's on my bucket list. Yeah. I really want to go to Rayburn. So once everything gets squared away and situated, I may take a wire hair and go jump in a BFL in the Cowboy division on Rayburn. I got a buddy of mine that's Rayburn's his home lake, and I got a place to stay when I go down there. So, next year, maybe 2027, I may make a trip to Texas and fish There I am.
There you good. Yep.
BFL out of the Cowboy division.
There you go. Yeah, I fished Toledo Bend. Me and my dad went to Toledo Bend a couple times, and man, it's unreal. I mean, it's just gin clear and just tons of grass, sort of like Guntersville, and standing timber everywhere. It's Toledo Bend's pretty nice. We caught a few nice ones out there. But I say that's the sister lake to Rayburn. So, but I'll never forget because we fished around Conway Twitty. He's got a big estate, and it's called, I think, Millionaire Acres, and beautiful, like point, big rounded point, and a big mansion, of course. But pretty nice, pretty cool. But anyway, now what is talking about your sponsors bait? I know Star Lures, man. They have. I mean, John puts out some awesome colors, some awesome baits.
John,
he's killing it.
He puts out some great stuff. I'm truly blessed with what John has done for me so far. He messages me just about every week saying, "Hey man, what do you need? I'm fixing to start pouring." I'm actually got some jigging minnows. I think they're on the way that he just made. So hopefully they'll be here next week. He's poured me some soft plastics for me, some trick worms, the forward-facing sonar minnows. He poured me some of those for me to test out. Haven't caught nothing on them, but I've had followers on it, so that's a positive note on those.
Absolutely.
As far as bait sponsors, I got John, and he pours all my soft plastics for me. And Anthony with AG Backbones, he custom paints crankbaits for me. He's also does pour soft plastic, but mainly Anthony paints my crankbaits for me.
Okay. But I know John, man, he has some outstanding colors. He has some two-tone stuff. I mean, he's got some awesome looking baits.
He's got
and
some
colors.
Sharp stuff. I'm excited to get some stuff in my hands from him, and definitely ready for tournament season to kick off where I can use them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I was looking through what he had, the selections of different types, I'm like, man, he's got. I could count them all. He had so many, but yeah, he does an awesome job. Yeah, I just take off my shoes and socks, and I'll run out. So I do like you, quick count. But that's great. But now what's I know you fished some Toyotas. Now what has been now I know I fished some big bass tournaments, Big Bass Bash Clash or Big Bass Clash, and that was a lot of fun. Now what is the one tournament series you think you've had the most fun at? I think the Big Bass for me has been the most fun.
I would say the Toyotas and the Opens.
Yeah.
I fished one Open on Hartwell on my 30th birthday, and I finished 54th, I think, right outside check range. But I mean, if you haven't had the experience to go fish an Open, you need to. I mean, it's top notch. It's really fun. And same way with the Toyotas. Mark McWall does a great job, hosting them. I fished Del Hollow on the Tennessee side, I believe. Yep. And it was my mom and dad's anniversary, and I lost a giant on their anniversary, which would have put me into fishing on day 3. Getting paid. My bad. Excuse me, getting paid. Yep. And he let me give mom and dad a shout out and wish them happy anniversary. And Mark is fantastic. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing Mark when I go to St. Lawrence.
Yeah, it is. And regardless, you get 2 days, on Opens or the Toyotas now. So you at least get 2 days.
You get 2 days back before they took co-anglers away in the Opens.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. But so you got the Toyotas, and it's a great experience, and you get some good pros. I mean, you'll get some, top-notch guys from the BPT, and it's weird because they invert the field. And I think on Smith Mountain or Smith Lake down in Alabama, I think I was last on the first day and first on the second day. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, if you're last flight on one day, the day one, you'll be first flight, and if you're middle of the pack, you'll stay middle of the pack on the second day.
Yeah, I think I'd rather stay middle of the pack. You kind of know what to expect, but
it was kind of
weird.
Of the pack.
Yeah, it's kind of weird going last to first, or vice versa. But
well, if you ain't first, you're last. So I mean,
that is true. And speaking of John Adams, there's John Adams. Good evening, fellas.
Speak of the devil.
How's it going, Mr. Adams? Hope you're doing all right, sir. But yeah, Mr. John is good people, definitely. he's always on Facebook said good morning, and
Yep.
so always great guy, man. Just salt to the earth kind of people, as my dad used to say. But anyway, what do you think going in your first tournament? I mean, I know you got to be chomping at the bit. You're 100% physical now that you got all your issues out and you're back 100%. So I know you're chomping at the bit, man.
I'm chomping real hard.
Yep. Oh, I heard that.
I mean,
man.
I feel
know.
confident.
Absolutely, man.
So I mean, it's gonna be a fun tournament, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and I'm gonna give a shout out to your mom and pop, man. I mean, they're behind you 110%, man. There ain't no doubt. I mean, that makes a huge difference.
Best support group I could ever ask for. I mean, they've been to every way in since 2016. They drove to Missouri, and when I fished the wild card out there, was leading day one of the wild card, and I slipped up on day two. Weather changed. It went from 60s, mid 60s and cloudy on day one to 42 and rain on day two. And I drew a guy out who's originally from Canada, and he resides in North Georgia now. And the last 2 hours of the tournament, he put every single rod up and stood on the trolling motor with the net in his hand the last 2 hours in the rain, trying to get me one more fish for me to make the All-American. And I missed it by 6 ounces, I think. I finished 7th.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's stories like that people don't. I had a guy down on Toyota Gunnersville. He whacked him. I mean, he had over 20 pounds, and there's one stretch of bank by this little boat launch. He missed a couple, and then coming back, he says, "Hey man, I had think 2 or 3," and he says, "Hey man, I'll let you feel your limit here." He literally run the trolling motor, didn't fish, and let me fish that stretch because he knew I can't upgrade here. And it was like it was time for us to go in almost. So I thought that was pretty cool. But there's stories like that,
You won't find many boaters that do that.
No, Eric. And I know you've had this happen, but I've had draw the same guy again or twice. And when they're like tickled or decided that you're fishing with them, I mean, that makes you feel like you're on cloud 9, man. It's unreal.
I've never drawn the same. Like, I've drawn people I've knew.
Yeah.
It's just like a couple years ago, I drew my link out on my home lake.
Yep.
And they postponed it for wind the morning of the tournament. And I was like, man, he's like, dude, he said, you had a chance to win it. He's like, because I had 15, 16 pounds in 30 minutes and I left him.
Yep.
He's like, you had a chance to catch 12, 13 pounds and have a shot at winning this thing. And we link and travel together. So I knew how he fished. So basically,
oh, wow,
I could have just took my rods and used all his stuff if I wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the one time I got paired up with my link that got postponed. And then when I ran the South Carolina division, I drew my link and traveling partner out on Murray, and I watched him catch 19 pounds. And then, I'm sitting back there throwing a shaky head behind him while he's cranking a frit side. Yep. And he cut it off, and I played dumb. He cut it off and tossed it to the back between the two seats towards me.
Yep.
So I looked at him. I said, what do you want me to do with this? He was like, tied on. And I ended up catching a 5 and a 4.
Ooh.
And I lost 1 over 3. And I'm like, wow. And I was just looking at different things that he didn't hit between the docks. It could be one single stick between the docks.
Oh, yeah.
And, I throw that frit side out there and I caught a 5 and a 4. I'm like, what's the odds of me drawing my link out? That's slim picking.
Oh, yeah. I've had it happen a couple times. I think I had my same boater link from Nashville. I think I drew him twice in one season. But like I said, exactly what you're going to do, what they like to do, and you already know what you're going to, you already know what to expect. I think that gives you a head start for sure.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
But I think I've thrown maybe about 3 or 4 guys out at least twice. So that's pretty cool when you do that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it helps you because you already mentally, hey, this guy likes to, fish shallow or flip fish. Yep. And you already know in your mind, hey, this guy's going to do this. I need to do this. So I think it gives you, a head start. It gives you a little jump. So for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But got a couple more comments here real quick. Mr. John says, doing good. Hope you two are doing well. I'm doing outstanding, John.
I'm doing better with it. Weather warms up.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't go north of Tennessee right now.
No, y'all got snow and floods.
Yeah, it's starting to recede, but man, Pikeville and Hazard, heart goes out to them folks. I mean, they got blasted. I mean, they're
Yeah, they
still.
got hit hard.
Yeah, there was. I think somebody told me 6 foot of flood waters inside of J.C. Penney in Pikeville, which is right there on the main
Oof.
road right there. Yeah, it's brutal. And good friend Daniel says, loving the show, Rob, and good luck to you this season, Robert. Hey man,
Thanks, Daniel.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Hey Daniel, I want to see some big pigs here next few weeks from OHIV, man. I know you're gonna whack them, man. So you get them, man. Send us some pictures out there. You got some beasts out in that lake, I guarantee you. But I know we being on the co-angler side, we've had some weird experiences and strange stuff's happened. And so what's the kind of the strangest or weirdest thing you ever had happen being a co-angler?
I'm afraid to even say it on podcast.
Oh boy, it can't be that bad.
Oh, it's bad. So
Uh-oh.
my open experience, first time ever fishing a bass open, and
Yep.
this is probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. So when I was getting ready to fish the open, I saw a buddy or got a friend of on Facebook, Scott Siller,
Yeah.
and he made a post saying on the way down to Hartwell. So I messaged him and said, "Hey, do you got an open seat?" He said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, meet me at the ramp." So I met him at Hart. Never met the guy in my life, and to this day, jam up 100% cool dude. Practiced with him, and he told me, he was like, "Look," he said, "I'm gonna drop you off in my buddy's boat. I got to do some business for a little bit, and I'll pick you back up at 2." I was like, "All right, cool." So I jumped in this guy's boat. Never met him a day in his life, and he looks like a hippie from Ohio, and he is from Ohio, and we're great friends now. It's Jake Rossi from
Yep.
Ohio.
Yep.
And practiced with him for a couple of hours, and then I got back in Scott's boat, and then get the pairings, the night before the tournament. And I called Scott. I said, "What's the odds?" He said, "You didn't." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I drew Jake out, the boy I practiced with for 2 hours."
Oh hey.
So we're sitting there in the boat, and we're running down, and Hartwell's just like Lanier, wide open. There's no areas to hunker down in.
Yeah.
So we're running down to the first spot, and he looks at me. We stop and we start fishing. He said, "Robert, when I tell you to move your rods, move your rods." I got to think. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's in a Skeeter ZX 250.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there fishing, and I hear him say, "Robert, move your rods." Well, I'm in mid cast. I can't stop.
Yeah.
So I hear my rods moving, and I turn around and look, and they're in the driver's seat, and he is hunkered down off the side of the Skeeter in the middle of Hartwell. And he goes, "You think my socks will float?" I'm like, "Dude, come on." So yeah, that was kind of a weird experience.
Oh man.
I'm like, everybody that's going by sees a bare butt hanging off the side of the boat. But I think that is going to have to be my weirdest experience. And to this day, it's a running joke. When we fished the Del Hollow Toyota Series, we were sitting there, and his co-angler was in the boat with him. And I walked up to him. I said, "Jake," I said, "You got some socks?" He said, "Yeah, I got him this time." And his co-angler was like, "What are you talking?" I'm like, "He'll explain the story later. This is not a 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning tournament, story. This is on
You
the
get it
water
later in the
story
day,
for
like
you."
that's more like lunch or after lunch.
Yeah, that's more like lunch or, weigh in story, not still dark.
I got two words for him. Dude wipes. Okay. Moving on. Moving on.
Oh,
Now,
Lord.
I have, yeah. Jan Hallman said no for some reason. I don't know why.
Probably because of that story I just said. Be nice.
Hey, we hey, we've all been there. I've seen I think the weirdest one I had one kind of like that is we was in a team tournament on Harrington, and we come around this curve, and this little man, he must have been 70 something years old. He was on the top of his outboard, perched over like a dang vulture, doing his business.
See,
Yeah, we did.
that just don't sound safe.
it what we kind of idled around and tried to look the other way. But it's one of those pictures you can't get out of your mind. No, it's not safe. It wasn't safe.
Unless you had 15-foot power poles to hang on to.
I don't think he did. He had an old Ranger, but he was perched up there, and I was like, how in the heck is he doing that?
You gotta go, you gotta go. But I wouldn't get up on the Callan.
No, I don't think I would either. But I've always been pretty lucky. I myself have not had any incidents like that, thank the Lord. But
I haven't. That was my only incident.
I've heard of certain anglers like I think Swindle one time, he ate Mexican the night before or something, and he had some issues, and he parked the boat, and he had a lady with him that was like his marshal, and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I gotta do something." And he found this like little grass meadow, and about the time he got his pads, everything down, this golf cart comes bouncing around, two girls in it. he's already can't stop, and he just waves at him while he's squatted down.
That's funny. You said eating Mexican the night before a tournament. I've done that for 4 years. It was like a tradition. Eat Mexican the night before BFL.
Man,
I've done that for a while.
Yeah, that's my weakness. But
me, so,
that's weird. On the other one, I got one more Swindle. I fished my first Bass Open. I had Gerald Swindle first day. And he just had his Phoenix. Hadn't been wrapped yet, so it was a Bass Open. He was fishing because his nephew Trey was in it, and it's funny. And we have a great day. I mean, it's funny. He jokes around a lot. He's his normal self like he is on TV, but he's fishing. He gets kind of quiet, serious, which I understand. Money's on the line. So we in this little canal way up above Toho. I can't remember which lake it was. And he says, "Hey man, I'm gonna take a quick leak and we're gonna run for a bit." I said, "All right." So I get all my stuff, tied down and situated, life jacket on. And I kid you not, as soon as he starts taking a leak, this airboat with like 10 tourists comes around the corner out in the middle of nowhere, just round. He's like, "Well, tell Lulu I wasn't flashing nobody." Yeah, I know. He's like, "I'm in midstream. Tell Lulu I wasn't flashing nobody," which is kind of funny.
Except just wave and hang on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many airboats around, you can't tell where they're at. And I mean, this one just come out of nowhere and went, "Row," and it's like, well. But there's a lot of weird stuff goes on some of the BFLs. You have some, always get some interesting stories. Seem like I have something at least once a year weird like that happens. So,
yeah.
But anyway, let's see. Miss Jan says, "I still remind Jake of that." I bet you do. And she's cracking up, but I think, and then only other thing I had weird close to that, it wasn't business related, but I was on Cumberland, your favorite lake, and it rained the night before, and I had this young kid, super good kid, I mean, great fisherman, and I guess he stayed at the hotel and he pulled his plug out, let the rain drain out. Well, I launch him out, park the truck, no issues, get out there, and his bill just go. Yep. He's like, "Oh man, if I put the plug in." I said, "Hey man, don't panic." I said, "There's plenty of boats still launch. Just go up there on somebody's trailer, and plug it in. They don't mind." He's like, "No man, I got this. Hold my ankles." I'm like, "Huh?"
Oh, I remember the story.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees. I kid you not, and it's dark, luckily. And he strips down his skivvies, and I'm holding his ankles, and luckily he's like 120, 130 pounds. And he's scuba diving, putting the plug in. I got him my ankles. He says, "Now I kick hard, pull me up." Like, this is not going to end well today. This is not going to. But he got it in there. Hey, hats off to him. He put it in there, and I was like, "Man, you'll be cold." He's like, "I'll be all right." Like, okay. But I was like, and I forget. He's like, hold my ankles. Like, huh? What? So.
That's like, hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing, and I was sitting there going, "What's he talking about?" But then, thank the Lord, it was dark and nobody saw what was going on. So, but
never had that happen.
Yeah, so if anybody tells you hold your ankles, you kind of know what's going to happen next.
You know what's coming.
Yeah, you know what's coming. It's probably not going to be good, but
no.
I figure if I couldn't pull him up, I'd just drop him, let him swim off, and tell me back in the boat before it comes worse. That was in my head at the time, but anyway, hey man, it's about 10 minutes till, but I know you got a lot of sponsors, and we like to, give a shout out. Oh, one quick question. John always asks, and this we always say toughest question of the night. What's your favorite homemade cookie?
Chocolate chip.
That's mine too, man. Couldn't go wrong there.
Chocolate chip.
But yep, that's the classic, man. You can't live without that one. But hey, man, I'm
No.
gonna give you the floor, and you want to thank somebody or thank your sponsors. Talk about your sponsors, man. The floor is yours, man. So go ahead.
Man, I'm truly blessed every year. I think the biggest sponsors I got would have to be mom and dad. They've been through there through thick and thin, my good tournaments, my bad tournaments. They helped me tackle prep. Dad says, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Or, I even go ask dad, hey, what do you think I need to do to improve? And half the time he tells me, put the shaky head down and throw something different.
Yep.
But if it wasn't for mom and dad, I mean, mom, and she designs all my jerseys. E3 Sports has knocked my jerseys out of the park every single year. This year is no different. I mean, we can't find nothing wrong with them. I got to thank Chris Peters with Chris Peters Electrician. He's been my ROC since day one. I joined Skeet Reese and Kim Reese this year, and the partnership has turned into a friendship. I get to go work Red Crest with Kim and Skeet this year, and Huntsville down at Gunnersville. So I'm pretty excited about that. Never worked Red Crest. I've always worked the Bassmaster Classics. So that'd be fun, and I get to spend a couple hours at the E3 Sports booth, showing off the jerseys that they made for me and everything.
Absolutely.
Donna Adams with PDQ Accounting. She's new this year. She's along for the ride. AG Backbone Bates. He's been with me since day one. I think started my second or third year. He's hopped on with me. Can't complain. He's anything I needed, he's always sent it to me. John is Star Lures. He's new with me this year, and he's enjoyed the ride so far, and he's excited to see what the 2025 and plus years coming for me. So he's excited. CJ's Barbecue. They've been with me pretty much since day one. There's a touchy subject with Diane Butler. Her husband passed away, and wrong sleeve. He passed away from COPD and emphysema, and he's been my boat angel for the last 2-3 years, and that's never going to change. So big shout out for Diane. I love you. And sorry.
No, you good, brother.
And then I get to represent Clay Dyer this year as well.
Awesome.
And I have his motto on my sleeve: if I can, you can. And that's both sleeves of my jerseys are never going to change. Regardless if I get more sponsorships or not, my sleeves are never going to change. And I'm just truly blessed with the love and support that I get from all my sponsors and my parents, that if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Absolutely. And man, Clay and Kim Dyer are two of the best. I actually got to fish with Clay on Cherokee on the Bass Open a few years ago, and man, it was a blessing just to share a boat with him, and his real testimony. It was man, it was one of the awesome, best days I had on the water, man. And it was like a tropical storm coming through, and man, he's like out for a Sunday drive, man. Wasn't stressed. I mean, he was just cool as he could be, man. And he's one of the best in there, man. That's a great sponsor to have, man. And that's some great people stands behind you. I mean, that's gonna get you to success, brother. I ain't got no doubt.
Yeah. And Mark and Jeremy with 5x3, they've been the last 2 or so years, and they were able to allow me to change the color of the 5 and the 3 on my hood of my jersey to the COPD and emphysema colors, which will never change on my jersey as well, to the orange and gray.
Right.
So I have the 5x3 on each side of my hood in the orange and gray and emphysema and COPD color.
I got you. Nothing wrong with that, man. That's a good looking jersey, man. Your mom knocks it out of the park. She needs to have a design company just for jerseys. I think she could do it.
I think next year I'm just gonna give Steve the colors and just tell him have at it. Just pick the hood and the style jersey and just tell him free range.
Yep.
Have at it.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that, man. That's outstanding, man. But one last thing. Now, I've kind of forgot to mention it. Now, I know we go through some tournaments that we have a lot of changing conditions and rain. What's your kind of favorite like gear for like bad weather, rain, whatnot? What do you like? What do you like to wear?
So this year, well, let me rephrase that. Last year I wore frog dogs.
Yep.
Bibs and jacket. This year I'm rocking AFCO.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Today was the first real test with my AFCO hydronauts today, and I stayed warm as could be. I mean, today I took my AFCO jacket off and had a hoodie, had my Skeet Reese rod hoodie underneath it with my AFCO bibs, and I stayed warm until the wind picked up and blew 20.
Yep.
And then I stuck my AFCO jacket back on, but if it wasn't for my AFCO bibs and jacket, I probably would have froze.
Oh yeah, ain't no doubt. I've heard nothing but good things about the hydronaut. Yeah, I've heard nothing but positive on the hydronauts and stuff. But that's an unbeatable combination, man. That's awesome. But man, I appreciate you having on, and man, we shared a lot of juice about Co-England and your experiences, and about sponsorships. And man, you've knocked it out of the park, man. Sounds like you got some good partners there.
Well, I appreciate it, and if there's anybody that's got any questions, if they're friends with you on Facebook or whatnot, about sponsorships or whatnot, feel free to message me, and I can talk to them about it. But it's basically the same thing as if a boater was going to asking for sponsorship. Granted,
yeah,
their entry fee is a lot more than the co-angler, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, y'all's entry fee is only $100." Well, that $100 piles up later on in the year.
Oh yeah.
So,
and you still got travel and lodging and all
food,
that too.
Gas, everything. Luckily, with me having my LLC, I can write all that stuff off, and and also promote my sponsorships as well in that same period.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I had LLC a few years ago, so I'm gonna try to get reinstated, and I'm gonna do that this year. I've been trying to keep better notes, of all the food, like went down to Knoxville and all the food and travel things. So I'm trying to do a better job, and but that's awesome, man.
Because I used to write down my mileage when I left the house, when I got there, or just round trip, when I left the house and back to the house. This year, Donna with PDQ Accounting, she was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll just, we'll rough estimate." So luckily I don't have to take care of my mileage. I'll just, my gas, my food, tackle, whatever I have to spend, that comes out for my fishing account, instead of my personal pocket. I just give that to her at the end of the year and whatnot. So, I enjoy it. If it wasn't for my sponsors, I don't think I'd be able to fish as much as I do.
Oh yeah, and one trick I did, and I still do, is like I have a second account, and I just have my fishing stuff in there. So if I need to pay for a tournament,
I got my regular account, and my fishing account.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier in the year, kind of figure out what you spent. So great tip, man. Mm-hmm. But anyway, hey, quick note: Alabama 72, UK 66. You still got 7:45 left, man. It's been back and forth. So good game though.
I knew it was going to be a tough game.
Well, man, if they already got
Alabama
65,
wasn't going to lose 2 games in a row.
No, they're a fast team, and I said they're already at almost 70 points, and they got 7.5 minutes to go. They're going to be close to the century mark. But
I give them credit. We were down our 2 best players. Well, really 3 best players. So all we have is freshmen to step in. So I give them credit. And I wasn't expecting them to lose 2 games in a row, especially when Missouri drops 110 on them.
Yeah. You never know, man. You never know when the ball rolls down the court, how they going to show up to play, man. So, but anyway, hey, man, I'm going to let you get to the game. I know you're, I'm just kind of watching the box score, but anyway, I want to give you that quick update. So, but anyway, hey, man, I really appreciate it. And I know we'll be talking back and forth. And, but, uh-oh. And then we got one quick comment. Oh, you went there, Rob. Go UK. Hey, you, my team won earlier today, so I'm good. It's been a tough
season.
Beat you
in fantasy fishing.
Yeah, you did. First game. Yeah,
Don't forget
that was on me.
Coming up.
Yeah, I'm doing my picks like a week early.
Okeechobee, you better get on it.
Oh yeah, I am. I ain't gonna wait till the last minute and then fall asleep like I did, and then I wake up next morning. Oh man, it's locked. Yeah, 6 o'clock they're locked out. So I found that out. Yep. Like 6:02, I'm trying to. Oh man, I'm locked out. But anybody, we got a Bass Fantasy League, and ROC Holliday luck he's running away with it. He's got some guys in the cut, and but anyway, we're gonna do some prizes every tournament, and kind of end of the year, we're gonna put all the winners in one. Like guys like me that fail to put your team in for the first event, there'll be some prizes for each winner, and then in the year we'll do a big giveaway. So anyway, if you want some more information on that, just hit us up, and we'll get you. It's like a private group, so we got a password and all that. So. But anyway, hey, ROC, man, enjoyed it, brother, as always, and good luck this season. I know you're going to have a great season. You're finally 100%, and, man, you're going to knock it out of the park.
Appreciate it. Message, John. Feel better, man. Hope you get well.
All right, man, appreciate that. I'll check in with my brother every day. So, but anyway, well, hey, ROC, enjoyed it, man. You have a good time down in Georgia, and keep doing what you're doing, man. You're knocking it out of the park.
All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. I enjoyed the night.
I enjoyed it too, man. And everybody that's tuned in and commented and liked and subscribed, hey, we appreciate y'all. And we'll catch you on Monday night. And peace out from Kentucky. See ya.
See ya.
All right.